Get my stuff sorted here. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Man, what a day. I am so pumped about today for a couple reasons. One, finally got my box in from the Game Crafter. This is for a little game we've been working on called Planting Evidence. And it's actually available for sale now. You actually can buy it on the Game Crafter. Although I think they're out of stock right now of certain boards. They're waiting for their boxes to arrive. But you can sign up and get a notification email when the game is available. We're going to do a box opening of that. Really exciting. Tonight on the podcast, Lucas Sosnick, a 17-year-old kid from New York, has launched a game. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's doing quite well. And their whole hook is not only is he a young kid, it's create a game and put it on Kickstarter, but for every pledge that someone does, they're going to take an extra game and donate it to a school, which is a really cool hook. So I can't wait to talk to him about that tonight. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Board Game Binge podcast. You can see it here on our YouTube channel live, or you can catch it afterwards wherever you download your podcast by going to Board Game Binge. And then lastly, I had a great call this morning with James Freeman, who those of you who've been following know, created a game called Hamsters versus Hippos. We've co-designed and we're developing this with them and publishing it for him. And his Kickstarter campaign kicks off this Wednesday. And I know he's pumped. I'm pumped. I think it's going to do well. Already we're just pumped with the feedback we've been getting and people's excitement around the game. People love it as much as we do, which is cool. Always good to see. We'll see how this campaign does, but it starts this Wednesday at 9 a.m. So if you want to get in on that, quick little secret is that day one backers actually get a better price than everyone else. So if you pledge on the first day, even if you end up canceling later on, but if you pledge on the first day, you're locking in a lower price on every single copy that you get. So if you want to buy 2 copies, you get a better price on both of those copies. So check out that campaign on Wednesday. We're 48 hours away. It's always a scary moment when you have a campaign ready to launch. So please check that out. Again, if you want to join our mail list, go to tinrobotgames.com. You can join our mailing list there, and then we'll also send out a notification reminder of when that campaign goes live. But all right, let's get into this game because I want to unload this box. So this got stuck at customs, which is a bit of a bummer. So I actually had to wait about a week longer than I wanted to get this game. And people are probably thinking, hey, you got Hamsters versus Hippos on Wednesday? Why are you not focusing on that? Why are you talking about this game right now? There's a couple reasons. One is we entered the small box challenge competition with Small Furry Games through the Game Crafter. I think we made it to the semifinals, so now we'll see if we make it to the finals or not. But it was an honor just to be voted on and having people vote for this game. 2, it kind of kicked us in the pants at kind of pushing forward some of the development of this faster than we had been working on it. And our goal is, quite frankly, to launch a Kickstarter of this game in probably February. Although Game Crafter, you're going to see what you're going to get with Game Crafter, which looks awesome, I imagine. I haven't seen it yet, but I will. But the actual Kickstarter campaign will take it to that next level, to like mass production level, and be able to do some other cool stuff with the game. I know everybody that plays this absolutely loves it. So, if you're interested in this game, check it out. I'm sure you'll love it too. And let's get into it. All right, let me do a camera swap here. A little box opening cam. I finally figured out why my desk cam has this kind of see how my hand gets kind of blurry when I move too fast? That is because the light in here is dark. So I have my ring light, which illuminates me. We got the backlight. But unfortunately, what happens is, since there's no light kind of bouncing off the desk, the camera has to fight a little bit harder to grab that image, and then you get this blurring effect. So I will move slowly. All right. I know I'm talking fast, like I drank 6 cups of coffee. I've only had one, I promise. My second one here is in front of me. But I just get excited, especially when it comes to stuff that I'm working on. So this is a creation of my brother Adam Staley and mine that we came up with this concept. Again, another concept we came up with fairly quickly. The idea I had been kind of toying around with for a long time, of this idea of a game where you're framing other people for murder. And then he had a couple ideas of how we could execute that. And we just kind of hammered through it one night. And the next day I'm like, yeah, let's start working on the artwork and get it going. So I was pretty pumped. Oh, let's get this in front of the camera so we get the reveal. I always keep this paper. I recycle it because I ship stuff out as well, and that's always good stuffing for the game. Oh, look at that. So they shrink wrap it, which I totally didn't expect them to shrink wrap it. I don't know why I wouldn't have expected that, but I didn't. But the linen finish on the box, man. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'm going to try to go slow. But this has got like a super sweet finish. Oh, God, I'm going to open one. I'm going to open this one right now without spilling my coffee, which almost went all over the place. Okay. Let me just take this in a little bit first. I want to give a shout out to Jay Bassan. He works with me in my business on anytime we have to do artwork and so forth for clients. And although I did the artwork for this, he has been a guiding hand for a lot of it. So I was going kind of in this direction, and he spent a couple hours with me and kind of helped me just kind of tweak it a bit, adjusting some of the colors and the approach, how the chalk line worked and stuff like that. So definitely anything I ever put out is always better after he looks at it and gives me some feedback and advice. So I want to thank Jay Bassan for that. All right, let's crack this open. That finish is so sweet. And it is nice, like a nice closed suction to that game, which is cool. Although you can play this 2 to 5 players, I put 2 to 4 for this version because there's marker cards. You have the mark when you have evidence or alibis on your side. And if I made this a 5-player game, which would have literally only included 2 more cards, that's a whole nother print sheet we would have had, which would have drove the cost up. So when we actually go to mass production, I very well may go with a 5-player game because 2 extra cards when I'm doing the mass production might not be as bad. So inside, I see how that works. Okay, so they have the boxes and then they have like, I guess, a sticker that kind of wraps over top of that. That's cool. So these are cards come with the game. Instruction booklet. Why is there 2 booklets? I think somebody grabbed 2 by accident. Oh, well, good for me. Now I got 2 booklets. So this little booklet explains how to play the game. Nice large font size. Little key cards explain what the different card categories are. And essentially with this game, we've got these kind of 5 categories. So you have DNA. I know it's tough to see it, but I'll just point to the categories. You got fingerprints, you got weapons, and then you got license plates. So the idea of this game is you're trying to form a fingerprint, right? So there's 4 parts of the fingerprint, and you're kind of trying to form a complete fingerprint so that you can plant that evidence against somebody. Or quite frankly, use as an alibi on your side that your fingerprints were somewhere else at that time. Likewise, the DNA, you've got C, A, G, and T parts of the DNA segments. You put those together, you get a full piece of DNA. Weapons on the other, same with license plate. Weapons on the other hand is not, you only have to have 3 or more for them to count. But for the other ones, although you're planting them against people, they don't actually count until you get a full fingerprint, full DNA segment, or full license plate. And then you've got these wild cards that you can use. And the wild cards are specific to whether you're using it on evidence or on alibis, which is kind of cool. The idea of this game is you want to, as I said, plant the evidence on other people, and you want to have the lowest score. So you want to push somebody over a total score of 300. That triggers the end of the game. At that point, whoever has the lowest score actually wins. So you want somebody to push somebody over to 300, but you only want to do that if you are in the lowest score position in the game. Otherwise, you're helping somebody else win. So you got this interesting dynamic that you're planting evidence on other people, But then you'll also stop planting evidence on people if you see that they're about to go over and you're not in a position yet to be the lowest score. And if you're the lowest score, you're the forensics expert. The person with the highest score is the murderer, or the person that's charged with murder. And then if you want to play multiple rounds, much like in the game A-Hole, I'm not going to swear, but you would start at the beginning of your turn. Based on your initial deal, you would give your 2 best cards to the person, if you're the person that won the prior game. So the person who lost the prior game would get the 2 best cards from the person that won from their prior game. It's an example of some of the cards. These guys, I got to tell you, their quality is so good. I am absolutely blown away every single time I see something from the Game Crafter. Like, it is shockingly good. For small run, like it is not like a normal small runs you would expect. Okay, it's going to be kind of rough cut and, maybe there's going to be laminated, but these are like production quality. And quite frankly, I was saying this to JT when I was talking to him about a month or so ago, that in many cases, it's actually better than production quality that you get from some of the manufacturers. Like some of the stuff I like when I look at this card and I can see this linen finish and it is clear that it's got linen finish. Sometimes you get linen finish from like a manufacturer, but it's like you kind of have to squint to see it, like it's there, but it's not like prominent. And here it is. There's no doubt that these are linen finish. So these are cards, very colorful. One of the changes we did in the early prototyping is we moved the scores to the edges, which allowed us to make these icons in the top left hand corners a little bit bigger. We changed the color coding so it somewhat matches. So you have reds, yellows, whites, and greens across the different things. And just change the colors of some so they're easy to tell apart. Like we had like a blue card and a green card of the DNA, which if you're colorblind, unless you read the letter, there's no way you would know the difference between those cards. And then we changed these cards too. We used to actually have written on this card alibi, and we had another card, the evidence card was actually written evidence. But because our intention is to have this game work in multiple languages, we thought iconography is better. And then that way I can literally crank this out in 5-6 different languages. It's literally just adding a different book. So it makes it very easy to sell this around the world and have people around the world enjoy this game. Back of the card. Again, thanks Jay Bassan for your suggestions on that. It looks awesome. And that's planting evidence. I got 4 copies shipped up to me. I'm going to have give one to Adam, of course. And my daughter wanted one too because she loves the game. So we'll have one for her at school. And the other one we'll have here for photography, videography, and so forth, getting ready for our Kickstarter campaign, which will happen in the first quarter of next year. But our eye is on the ball of helping James with his Kickstarter campaign, which launches this Wednesday, 9 a.m. Again, first day backers, you're getting a significant discount and on every game that every copy that you purchase. So even if you want to bundle together with other people, that's cool too. And you guys can get some significant savings. So I hope you join us for the Hamsters vs. Hippos Kickstarter campaign that starts this Wednesday. Appreciate your support. Even $1 thrown our way helps us with even things like the podcast, quite frankly. The podcast, we don't have any sponsors. We don't charge anybody to be on the podcast. It is all 100% self-funded. But things like this help us raise revenue to help pay for things like the podcast. So thank you so much for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all have an amazing day. Take care. Cheers. This has been an episode of the Board Game Binge podcast, hosted by James Staley, produced by James Staley and Mike Bruner, with original music by Nick Smith. If you would like to watch these interviews live, simply join the Facebook group Board Game Binge, and you'll get access to live interviews, giveaways, and interesting board game content from across the industry. I can't wait for you to join us. See you next time.